think it really is demoralizing.
Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome to the March 17th, 2020 Post Falls City Council meeting. We started the evening with a workshop on the COVID-19 or coronavirus topic, and it's something that I think we will be discussing for several weeks, possibly months to come. So good information was shared at our workshop. Clerk will note that all council members are present. We have 4 in person. We have Council President Wilhelm on the phone, as well as Councilor Steve Anthony on the phone. We do have some announcements to make tonight. So, as we all know, the COVID-19 virus has become a huge issue. As we look out in the audience, there's, I think, 2 members who are not part of the city who are here. And we have canceled many items, public hearings, public comments, just to try to keep the number of those in attendance to a minimum. People have asked what we're doing as a city, and what we're doing is we're following the protocols established by the President of the United States, Governor Little of Idaho, Panhandle Health District, the CDC, and Kootenai County, and Kootenai Health. The problem with trying to adhere to these protocols is they're changing on a daily, if not hourly basis, so we will do our best to keep informed. The Office of Emergency Management through the county is holding daily briefings. I emailed, I believe you can tune into those, I'm not certain, but I sent that email to the county to find out and did not get a response back. Yesterday I spoke twice with the governor's office. The second time was with Brad Ritchie, who is with the state's Office of Energy Management. We will read a declaration or proclamation here in a few minutes dealing with this, but Mr. Ritchie advised us that since the county had filed a local disaster emergency, was that right?
Yep, local disaster emergency declaration.
I wrote it down and then I couldn't find my notes. Local disaster emergency proclamation. He advised cities to do the same. And the reason for that, and I want to stress this, is to not create or further the panic. The reason for the cities to do so is to avail ourselves of funds that may become available as this situation persists. So if there's federal monies available and the city has specific expenses that are incurred for various reasons, we will fall under the purview of the county, but he felt it important that we also issue this declaration to adhere to what the county has done. Earlier today, or yesterday, today we issued the joint statement? Today we issued a joint statement. Yesterday I was in contact with the mayors of Coeur d'Alene, mayors of Hayden. Mayor of Spirit Lake called me, and I know Mr. Wilson, our city attorney, was in contact with their city attorneys. City Administrator Enderud was in contact with the city administrators, and we issued the following joint statement on COVID-19 epidemic. On March 13th, 2020, Idaho Governor Brad Little declared a state of emergency to address the COVID-19 outbreak. In response, Kootenai County Commission Chairman Chris Filios issued a local disaster emergency declaration activating the countywide Office of Emergency Management to coordinate a countywide response to the COVID-19 epidemic. The cities of Coeur d'Alene, Hayden, Post Falls, and Rathdrum support the emergency declarations by Governor Little and from Kootenai County, as well as the activation of the Kootenai County Office of Emergency Management, OEM. The cities pledged to work closely with the OEM and other public entities and healthcare providers to respond to the COVID-19 epidemic. Residents are urged to follow the recommendations of the Center for Disease Control and Panhandle Health District aimed at slowing the spread of COVID-19. Additionally, residents are urged to remain calm and limit purchases of food, cleaning supplies, and other necessary items to ensure that all members of the community have access to the items they need during this difficult time. For information about facility closings or the status of events in each city, please consult the city's website, where up-to-date information for each city will be available. Again, the county will publish information, and that's the official position for the county, but as items pertain specifically to the city, it will be on the city's website. Governor Little is going to host a press conference tomorrow, Wednesday, March 18th, 2020 at 10 a.m. in the governor's ceremonial office. That would be 10 a.m. Mountain Time, 9 a.m. our time, to update Idahoans on new guidance and recommendations to protect our citizens during the novel coronavirus outbreak. The press conference will be streamed on the governor's Facebook page, and it's www.facebook.com/Governor Brad Little / and so that would be available on the Facebook page. Also, I just want to mention that I spoke while I was speaking with the governor's office yesterday. They assured me that the Department of Labor is working diligently on trying to provide some assistance for those people, especially businesses, who will suffer from this situation that we're faced with. And today we received a email from Jerry Miller, from the Economic Development Specialist with the Idaho Department of Commerce. And he asked us to share this with any businesses in Idaho that might benefit. Idaho Commerce, along with the Idaho Office of Energy Management, is working to secure U.S. Small Business Administration economic injury disaster loan assistance for small businesses impacted by COVID-19. To become eligible for assistance, we need affected Idaho businesses to file with Commerce SBA's Economic Injury Worksheet. The Economic Injury Worksheet and other supporting materials may be found on the Department of Commerce's COVID-19 page. They actually have their own page dedicated to it. The assistance is available to both for and not-for-profit businesses. If you or any of your businesses have questions about the worksheets or SBA Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program, he says, please send them my way, and that would be Jerry Miller at the Idaho Department of Commerce. I beg your indulgence as I go through these and make sure I've got all the information I want to read. Councilor Anthony asked if we would read a statement from Kootenai Health, and I was conversing with a physician at Kootenai Health that stated that all elective surgeries have been put on hold. They want to make sure that the beds are available should the need arise in the emergency room, that the anesthesiologist would be available to assist the ER doctors as well, and that the respirators would be available as needed. So the Kootenai Health is taking precautionary methods. And Steve asked me to read this. Kootenai cares about the health and well-being of our patients and caregivers. Given that COVID-19 is circulating in our community, we must ensure the safety of our facilities and our ability to care for as many patients as possible. Safety is our top priority during this time. Effective Tuesday, March 17th, 2020 at 9 a.m., visitor restrictions will be in place on our hospital campus until further notice. Each patient will be allowed one visitor only in a 24-hour time period. Additionally, a visitor will not be allowed for patients under evaluation for COVID-19 or who have tested positive unless the patient is imminently at the end of their life. Until COVID-19 no longer poses a public health threat, all patients and visitors will be screened. Visitors must meet all four of the following criteria: be at least 18 years of age, free of fever for 72 hours by report or measured if available, free of an acute severe cough, and free of shortness of breath. Except for transit to and from, visitors are to stay in the patient's room for the duration of their visit. Visitors must follow staff instructions regarding hand washing and use of personal protective equipment. Exceptions: no visitor will be allowed on our behavioral health units. Family contact will occur through phone and video chats. Clergy, spiritual support personnel are requested by patient or family members will be allowed. We appreciate your help in keeping patients, visitors, and caregivers safe. Thank you, Kootenai Health. And I believe that is the extent of the announcements at that point, although we do have 2 proclamations to read. I will read the first proclamation as it pertains to fair housing, because it's shorter. Whereas April 2020 marks the 52nd anniversary of the passage of Title VIII of the Civil Rights Act of 1968, commonly known as the Federal Fair Housing Act. And whereas the Idaho Human Rights Commission Act has prohibited discrimination in housing since 1969. And whereas equal opportunity for all, regardless of race, color, religion, sex, disability, familial status, or national origin, is a fundamental goal of our nation, state, and city. And equal access to housing is an important component of this goal, as fundamental as the right to equal education and employment, and housing is a critical component of family and community health and stability. Whereas housing choice impacts our children's access to education, our ability to seek and retain employment options, the cultural benefits we enjoy, the extent of our exposure to crime and drugs, and the quality of health care we receive in emergencies, and ongoing education, outreach, and monitoring are keys to raising awareness of fair housing principles, practices, rights, and responsibilities. And only through continued cooperation, commitment, and support of all Idahoans can barriers to fair housing be removed. And now, therefore, I, Ronald G. Jacobson, Mayor of the City of Post Falls, Idaho, do hereby proclaim April 20th to be Fair Housing Month in the City of Post Falls. And the next one needs to be read?
It does not. So I think it's fair if we just let folks know that you'll be signing a local disaster emergency declaration today that essentially declares a local state of emergency in conjunction with the counties and activating the Office of Emergency Management.
As Mr. Wilson says, that's what I'm going to be signing, and if anyone wants a copy, we'll provide it to you. You don't want me to read it, it's 3 pages long. But we will, I actually have signed this, and I'm under the assumption that Coeur d'Alene will sign theirs tonight.
That's my understanding, that Coeur d'Alene, Hayden, Rathdrum are all signing declarations tonight. I haven't heard from the other smaller cities in the county, but I'm anticipating each of the larger cities
I believe that
will
is
issue
their intent,
declarations
so.
today.
Anyway, so we are doing that, and again, that was recommended to us by the State Office of Emergency Management to adhere to what is being, what the county has done, so that has been signed. There are amendments to the agenda tonight.
Yes, there are. I'd like to make 2 motions on that. The first is to remove items from the agenda. I move to amend the agenda by canceling and removing the following items from the agenda. Item 2A, Green Meadows East Subdivision Public Hearing. Item 2B, Elm Road Zone Change Public Hearing. Item 5B, Police Department Investigations Division Report.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion? Roll call, please.
Malloy.
Aye.
Wilhelm.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Thorson.
Aye.
Orders.
Aye.
Motion passes, thank you.
I'd like to also make a motion to add some items. I move to amend the agenda by adding the following items to the agenda. Item 4D, resolution ratifying and extending emergency declaration and authorizing the city administrator to modify policies to respond to COVID-19 epidemic.
Second.
I'm not done yet. Item 4E is the COVID-19 management plan. These items were not included on the original posted agenda because of the COVID-19 situation is rapidly changing. And these items reflect new information made available after the agenda was posted. Final action must be taken on these items on this agenda to authorize necessary city actions to respond to the declared COVID-19 emergency.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion? Roll call, please.
Borders.
Aye.
Wilhelm.
Aye.
Thorson.
Aye.
Malloy.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Thank you, motion passes. Are there any declarations of conflict or ex parte contacts and site visits?
I will.
I do.
Go ahead, Linda.
I'll recuse myself from number, I believe it is still I, under the consent calendar, Wildflower Meadows Zone Change Reason Decision.
Okay.
And I'm going to be recusing myself from item J on the consent calendar, the Idaho Veneers Zone Change Reason Decision.
Thank you, both. Shelley, would you present the consent calendar, please?
Item A is minutes from the March 4th, 2020 City Council meeting. Item B is payables February 25th through March 4th, 2020. Item C is Corbin Meadows annexation reasoned decision. Item D is Hingston annexation reasoned decision. Item E is Montrose zone change and PUD amendment reasoned decision. Item F is Montrose West zone change and PUD amendment reasoned decision. Item G is Quiet Ridge annexation reasoned decision. It's supposed to say quiet instead of quite.
Quiet.
It is quiet, okay. Would you change that for the minutes? Thank you. Item H is Tranquil Meadows annexation reasoned decision. Item I is Wildflower Meadows zone change reasoned decision. Item J is Idaho Veneer zone change reasoned decision. Item K is request to dispose of surplus property. Item L is approval for the fiscal year 2021 budget hearing notification. Item M is High Oaks minor subdivision plat application. And item N is Montrose 12th edition subdivision construction improvement agreement.
Any questions on the consent calendar?
And move to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Second.
Motion seconds. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wilhelm,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Thorson,
Aye.
Borders,
Aye.
Malloy.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Tonight, we have no public hearings. We have no unfinished business, returning ordinances and resolutions.
We do.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, I'm sorry. We do. I thought we had eliminated those. I apologize. We do have some. The first item up would be the Helm Street subsequent user fee agreement. And is that for discussion or?
So that would be up for approval, so if you have any questions, we can answer your questions on that, otherwise it'd be a motion to approve.
Are there any questions? I saw Bill standing up. Any questions on that one?
I'd move to approve the Helm Street subsequent user fee agreement.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Anthony,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Thorson,
Aye.
Borders,
Aye.
Malloy,
Aye.
Wilhelm.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Got off easy tonight, Bill. Next item up is a resolution, Helm Street subsequent user fee.
Same deal.
I would move to,
Go ahead, Linda.
I would move to approve the Helm Street subsequent user fee.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Wolf,
Aye.
Thorson,
Aye.
Borders,
Aye.
Malloy,
Aye.
Wilhelm,
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. We do have 3 ordinances. The first is the ordinance on animal impoundment.
I would move
to.
Take it away,
It's
Linda.
I would move to place an ordinance, animal impoundment, on its first and only reading while under suspension of the rules.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Thorson,
Aye.
Borders,
Aye.
Malloy,
Aye.
Wilhelm,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Motion passes. Mr. Wilson.
An ordinance amending the municipal code of the city of Post Falls, Kootenai County, Idaho, amending Post Falls City Code Title 6, Chapter 20, Section 6.20.020 and 6.20.040 to allow 5 days to claim impounded animals and to clarify the notice, repealing conflicting ordinances, providing severability, providing for the publication of this ordinance by summary, and providing an effective date.
Move to approve the animal impoundment ordinance, to ask the clerk to assign the appropriate number and that it be published by summary only.
Second.
Motion second.
Yeah.
Further discussion? Shannon, please take the roll.
Borders,
Aye.
Malloy,
Aye.
Wilhelm,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Thorson,
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next ordinance up is on the Montrose zone change and PUD amendment.
Okay, I will move to place the ordinance Montrose zone change and PUD amendment on its first and only reading while under suspension of the rules.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. Roll call.
Malloy,
Aye.
Wilhelm,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Thorson,
Aye.
Borders,
Aye.
Motion passes. Mr. Wilson.
An ordinance of the City of Post Falls, a municipal corporation of the state of Idaho, providing for change in zoning classification for the land described in Section 1 of this ordinance from industrial to single-family residential R1, providing for amendment of the official zoning map to reflect this change, providing that all prior zones applicable to lands described in Section 1 are hereby superseded, and providing an effective date.
Move to approve the Montrose zone change and PUD amendment and ask the clerk to assign the appropriate number and that it be published by summary only.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. Roll call, please.
Wilhelm,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Thorson,
Aye.
Borders,
Aye.
Malloy,
Aye.
Motion passes. And the final ordinance is the Montrose West Zone Change and PUD Amendment.
Move to place the ordinance Montrose West zone change and PUD amendment on its first and only reading while under suspension of the rules.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. Roll call, please.
Anthony,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Thorson,
Aye.
Borders,
Aye.
Malloy,
Aye.
Wilhelm,
Aye.
Motion passes. Mr. Wilson.
An ordinance of the City of Post Falls, a municipal corporation of the state of Idaho, providing for a change in zoning classification for the land described in Section 1 of this ordinance from industrial to single-family R1, providing for amendment of the official zoning map to reflect this change, providing that all prior zones applicable to lands described in Section 1 are hereby superseded, and providing an effective date.
Move to approve the ordinance Montrose West zone change and PUD to ask the church clerk to assign the appropriate number and that it be published by summary only.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. Roll call.
Wolf,
Aye.
Thorson,
Aye.
Borders,
Aye.
Malloy,
Aye.
Wilhelm,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is new business, and I think there were some changes made in here, so I didn't write them down. First item up, 12th Avenue Collection Phase 1 recommendation. Andrew.
Good evening, Mayor Jacobson, members of the council, Andrew Arbini, Utilities Project Manager. My presentation this evening is on the 12th Avenue Collections Project Phase 1. This is an exciting time because we've reached a large milestone in this project. About a year ago, we started the design agreement with Keller Associates and recently moved through the bidding process. And tonight, city staff is bringing recommendation to award this contract to the low bid. Also note that included in this presentation is the Programming and Integration Services Amendment to Keller Associates' original design contract. This is listed as item B under new business. So separate action items, but included in the same presentation. With that, I'll jump into it. Quick overview. This lift station is located just east of Highway 41. I tried to delineate the highway with the blue line there, but the red box on the northeast corner of that lot is where the new lift station will go, and constructed adjacent or next to the existing Crimson King lift station. Couple key points for this project. This was originally identified in the 2018 Northeast Corridor Study with JUB engineers, and then working closely with the Post Falls Urban Renewal Agency. This was identified as a project to address the increasing flows in the northeast portion of the city as that continues to develop. The key points of this project for Phase 1 will be to construct the lift station facility which also includes flow equalization. And then it provides connections, connection points for the future force main that will pump directly to the plant. So this phase 1 construction allows for those increasing flows to be managed through our existing system until such time in the future phase 2 would construct that force main and bring that wastewater directly to the plant. I'll jump right into the bids and the bid results. So on February 19th, we opened bids for phase 1. The engineer's estimate was for just over $4.5 million. We received 5 bids. So you can see the low bid was submitted by Riviere Inc. for $3,430,574. I will point out, if you look at the bids, the second and third are fairly close, and then the fourth and fifth place bidders are relatively close too. It creates a bit of that low bid. You have that middle range, and then the high end of it. Following the bid opening, Keller Associates and city's legal staff reviewed the bids, in particular La Riviere's bid, and determined that it is responsive. It does meet all the bidding requirements. So the financial impact, the request this evening is for the recommendation to award, and that amount is for $3,430,574. We are requesting a 5% contingency that'd be authorized by the Public Works Director, and that's for unforeseen conditions and any improvements that may benefit the collection system. That amount is $171,529. The total requested amount this evening is $3,602,103. I did note in the bottom, again, this is a partnership with the Post Falls Urban Renewal Agency. City is, or this project is funded by the capital system improvement budget and then reimbursed through the URA. I have 2 more slides that relate to the programs and integration. So I can go through that and then answer any questions unless there's any questions.
Why don't you go through it if you don't mind, and we'll take the whole thing once.
So the programming and integration, this is an amendment to the original design and engineering contract with Keller. So this portion, this scope of work is typically included in the initial engineering design contract. At the time we sat down with Keller, this was an unknown, to simply state. This is by far the largest lift station, the largest facility on the collection system that the city will have. So it's very complex in terms of programming and integration and what that looks like, bringing that into our facility and how we manage that. Through the design, we were able to identify that. I guess it provided more clarity in what that actually looked like. So we are moving forward with a recommendation for the amendment with Keller. This also allows Keller, so Keller currently designed the lift station, provided the entire design. They also provided the engineering or electrical engineering. Adding this scope of work really falls into what they're already doing and currently on site. They'll also be coordinating with the contractor. More or less, this will streamline that process. Again, it provides for a fully operational facility at the time of completion and startup. So the financial impact, this amendment is for $128,656,000. We are requesting a 5% contingency that would also allow for unforeseen conditions in the amount of $6,433. The total requested amount this evening is for $135,089. That is the end of my presentation. I would welcome any questions.
Make a comment. It's been a while, I think, since we've seen a project come in significantly lower than engineers' estimates. So that's, in the current times, that's good news. So I appreciate your diligence on that.
Thank you.
Any good comments for Andrew?
I would move to approve the 12th Avenue Collections Phase 1 recommendation to award to La Riviere Inc.
Second.
Motion second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Larson,
Aye.
Orders,
Aye.
Malloy,
Aye.
Wilhelm,
Aye.
Anthony,
Aye.
Wolf,
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Andrew. And you're up again on the next item. engineering service contract with TO.
We got, I also
another-
move to
Oh,
approve.
sorry.
Move to approve the 12th Avenue Collections Phase 1 Programming and Integration Services with Keller Associates.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. Roll call, please.
Borders.
Aye.
Malloy.
Aye.
Wilhelm.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Thorson.
Aye.
Motion passes. See, that's what happens when I combine two items. We need two separate motions. Thanks for keeping me honest on that.
Problem.
Andrew, you're up again.
Yeah, thank you. So this presentation is for the Ponderosa lift station. This is an engineering design services contract with TO Engineers. So 12th Avenue is for 2020. This is a 2021 construction project. Not that we have enough already. So this project is located along Ponderosa Boulevard, just west of Ross Point. So Ponderosa Elementary there is on the left of the screen. And of course, the red box is the actual lift station itself. So this is the existing lift station. This is a picture taken near the street. And this lift station was originally identified in the 2012 Collections Master Plan. So this was identified for pump upgrades and some other safety upgrades at the time. Since that time, other lift stations, other facilities garnered more attention, and this more or less fell by the wayside. I'll note that the original pumps were installed in 1987 and continue in operation. As of recent, this has actually become a lift station that we monitor on a daily basis. So we have someone going out and actually checking on it and making sure it's operating, as we've had some challenges in the last several months. This is another view inside of the lift station. This is one of the original lift stations, one of, I believe, 4 or 5 that were constructed in the city during the 80s. And it is a dry pit style. You can see those two circular tubes there provide access. One is for pump access for maintenance and pulling pumps. The other one's for actual man entrance, personal entrance. And it's a spiral staircase. So as you can imagine, that presents some safety issues, and it's just with where we are today, it presents some definite maintenance challenges. So this project was also carried over into the recent 2019 Collections Master Plan update, and it includes of course, the pumps. But since that time, an evaluation by Keller and looking at the site, that there's several things that this project will upgrade and identify, and that is more or less a full replacement of the facility. TO will look at the existing structures, if the concrete structures can be repurposed and can be reused. It's looking at this point that it'll be a full replacement. So a new wet well, a new control building, and some stormwater drainages are some of the key elements to this site. General timeline, so this would be a design project through the rest of 2020. We plan to go out to advertise. We're looking for late winter, early spring bid time in March of 2021, and then construct roughly from April through the end of the year and complete the project in 2021. So the design and engineering contract, which includes construction management and oversight, is for $344,243.96. We are requesting a 5% contingency for additional items, unforeseen conditions, for $17,212. The total requested amount this evening is for $361,455.96. And that is the end of my presentation.
Question for you.
Yes.
So if you're going out daily to check on it now, we're anticipating not building for another year and a half or more. Is it going to make it?
We have an excellent staff, and they continue to monitor that every day. So we're monitoring what makes sense if it is addressing something in terms of equipment. We have done that in the past and making it get to the finish line. We have had recent projects where typically at the point where we are upgrading, the facility is towards the end of its life, and we always want to be ahead of that. And while there are some issues, we're continuing to monitor that and doing our best to manage.
Just had a question. The other lift station fell under urban renewal. This apparently does not.
This does not. This is funded by the capital system improvement budget. So this was budgeted in the for fiscal year 2020, 2021. So it includes money for design for this year and then money for construction in 2021.
Thank you, Andrew.
Any questions?
Has to be done. Move to approve the engineering services contract with TO Engineers for the design and construction services for the Ponderosa lift station replacement.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. Shannon, please take the roll.
Malloy.
Aye.
Wilhelm.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Thorson.
Aye.
Borders.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Andrew. Next item up is the item that was added, resolution ratifying and extending the emergency declaration and authorizing the city administrator to modify policies to respond to the COVID-19 epidemic.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. Roll call, please.
Wilhelm.
Aye.
Anthony.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Thorson.
Aye.
Borders.
Aye.
Malloy.
Aye.
Motion passes. The next item, Mr. Wilson, is the management plan. Is that a resolution as well, or
It's
just
not,
approval?
just a motion, it's
Okay. Need approval on the, motion on the COVID-19 management plan.
I'd move to approve the COVID-19 management plan.
Second.
Motion second, further discussion. Roll call, please.
Anthony.
Aye.
Wolf.
Aye.
Thorson.
Aye.
Borders.
Aye.
Malloy.
Aye.
Wilhelm.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you. Next on the agenda is administrative staff reports, and I believe we're dealing with just the 2020 census information.
Correct.
Mr. Steele.
Bob Steele, Community Development Director. So Ethan Porter was originally going to present the census information to you, as he is the one that has been tasked with joining that committee and working countywide and regionally to move forward with the census. I'll make it quick. So as everybody probably knows, the U.S. Census is done every 10 years. It has been done every 10 years since 1790. It helps to distribute the federal funds of up to $675 billion across the United States. It's usually related to population and economic data. It will also be used to redraw any boundaries of the congressional and state legislative districts to account for those population shifts as necessary. And also provides data that is used at the local level and up to the federal level. And of course, out of the Community Development Department, we are going to be looking forward to seeing these new numbers to understand how on track we are. We make estimates every year based on the number of houses that are constructed and things along those lines, but getting the real actual factual data is important for everything that we do down there. The census invites everyone to respond. You probably have already started receiving envelopes in the mail asking you to get online, fill it out, enter your approximately 9-digit code, and do your census. I did it this morning just to test it out. For me and my son, it took me 5 minutes to go in, enter my approximate 9-digit code. It pulled up my address, and then just fill out the information. Relatively simple, quick, and easy. There are ways of doing it online or by phone or by mail. As noted on here, there's some important dates to be looking at. You've, again, already received one letter, possibly two. I know I have. They'll send out another reminder postcard in the next couple of weeks. And then they'll come up with another reminder letter and paper questionnaire. And then final reminder and postcards. And then if they haven't heard from you, they will be starting to stop by your house, which is kind of the reason why we wanted to bring this up now, is that they will be setting up mobile questionnaire assistance centers within the area when they start to do their on-the-ground surveys, knocking on doors. And again, it's just looking for how many people are living in your household, what's your birth dates, background, ethnic origin, and that's about it. It's a very simple amount of information they're looking for at this time. They do not share any of that information outside of the census. And there will be, as you see, the Census Bureau workers around. They're going to have those official government badges. Those are typically the census coordinators that you'll be seeing. And they are, again, on the badge, you'll note that it's a Department of Commerce watermark and an expiration date. So there are official people that will be on the ground doing that. Just as kind of a quick look, this is the response outreach area mapper, and it kind of will illustrate how well we have the census paperwork has been received. They will begin updating it as they go. This is based on the 2017 information when they were working on another aspect of it. The lighter the color, the better the response. So kind of what it shows here is this dark area within Coeur d'Alene. You have more of a higher 25 to 48% non-filings. So within some of our areas within Post Falls, you're more along the lines of the 16 to 20% filling out the paperwork and being on time with it, and that's what we want to see. Sorry, I mean those are the 16 to 20% did not fill it out, so it moves along really well. Resources and contacts, you can find out more information at census.gov, 2020census.gov, or with these various options. The phone number is out of California, that's the regional office. The response outreach mapper is what I had just showed you an image of, and Ethan is going to be working as our point person out of the community development department. He's the planner one, and his email is available on our website or right there. Again, it's very important that as many people as possible fill these out and get them back as quickly as possible so that they can wrap it up and get it done in a timely manner. Any questions?
Any questions, Bob? Carrie?
Is that on the website, on our city website?
We can put it on there if it's not on there already, yes.
Yeah, one-stop shopping, and then they can,
I'll arrange it with Kit and Stephanie to get something on there tomorrow.
yeah.
Where do
'cause
you get, I'm sorry, where do you get the 9-digit code? Is that in the mail?
It's in your envelope.
Okay.
So like I said, I've already received 2 envelopes, so I brought them both, looked them both up, and yep, same. I just entered I say 9-digit. It was approximately 9-digit. I can't remember. And when I entered it, my address popped up and said, "Is this you?" And
So Bob, for those who have not received a envelope, how would they proceed forward to get one?
probably need to get on the 2020census.gov site to start with, see if there's links on there as to explain why haven't I received one. But again, it's going to be addressed to resident because just as, again, per house. It's not going to be addressed to you directly. So.
And people think we know everything, that we have all of the information about everything. And I just had a citizen last week, so thank you, and Ethan and Shelley sent an email because she gets her mail in a P.O. box. And so was thinking, I don't think I got one of these, and
It's very good.
they had her all fixed up. And so it's not anything that we do necessarily, but it's
happen-
nice to be able to help.
Right. And Ethan is just kind of a point person that happens to have communication with the local census office.
It worked, and she's happy.
Yeah, good.
She thinks we're awesome.
Oh, well, hey.
Any other questions, Bob? Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it. No citizen issues. Tonight's been suspended. Mayor comments. Go back to the COVID-19, the coronavirus. I'd just like to say 2 things. Don't fuel the panic. Don't buy more than you need. I heard the other day, I think it was the president mentioning that people are buying 3 to 5 times the amount of product they actually need. You know, be smart. We've got a good supply chain. Let's not take advantage of it and make sure everybody's taken care of. Second point I'd like to make is check on your neighbors, especially those who are elderly. They may need our help during this time, so please be cognizant of those who live around you and offer assistance when necessary. This isn't a pleasant situation. We will get through it. We'll come out the other side strong as ever. But in the meantime, let's not forget those that need our help. And then last thing I want to mention, this virus thing has overtaken the news, but 2 weeks ago after our council meeting, we had a very unfortunate situation with an officer being shot. We've been able to visit him. Shelley and I visited with him the day after he came out of surgery. Sergeant Anderson was doing well, went home, had some complications, is back in the hospital. We visited him again, I believe it was Friday,
yes.
and talked to Chief tonight, and Sergeant Anderson is in good spirits. He's struggling a little bit with getting things the way they should be, but he's determined. He is upbeat. But, you hope you never have to go through that situation as a city, as a police chief, or one of your officers. And I just want to take my hat off to Chief Knight and his crew. I know Chief kept Shelley and I posted throughout the evening, and immediately got the situation turned over to the Coeur d'Alene PD, and I want to thank the Coeur d'Alene Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, state, all the other agencies who offered assistance during that time. And as I said during the press conference, the collaboration between our different agencies doesn't surprise me anymore because it is so good, and that's what we've come to expect. But keep Sergeant Anderson and his wife in your prayers. She had a procedure done as well, so they were both in the hospital at the same time.
Oh, no.
But keep them in your thoughts and prayers, and hopefully he will be discharged end of the week, first part of next week. Hoping so. So please be sure, and when you do talk to him, give him our best.
Absolutely.
Council comments. Okay.
I would like to start out by thanking Mayor Jacobson, our city administrator, Shelley Enderud, all the department heads, and everyone. Just the last 48 hours, life as we know it has changed every minute. And I've been here 35 years, so I've lived in Post Falls for 35 years. I've served on this council for 12 years. And this situation is so unique, and it might be, Ron, you would remember, have we ever done an emergency declaration before?
Not to my knowledge.
So, this is a first time. And what I have to say, I'm not privy to any more information than all of the citizens out there, maybe a few minutes earlier. But I feel really good. I love this community. And we were a really great community last month. We're a really great community today, and we'll be a really great community in the days to come. But yeah, so many things that are out of our control. And my mantra is just replace fear with faith. And I have the utmost faith in all of the people here at the city that are holding down the fort and doing the best, not only for the staff here internally, but with the best interests of the public and the community and the residents of Post Falls. So while it's still unknown, I feel really at peace that we are doing everything we can do. So hang in there and don't hoard toilet paper.
Thank you.
Amen. Any other comments?
I guess just to add to that, I think our media and some of our politicians have done a disservice by such varying messages. But the point is, there's a lot of people still that I hear say, well, don't worry about it, it's just the flu. I think everybody needs to recognize that it's not just the flu. It's quite a bit more serious than that, depending on the studies you see. It's between 10 times and 35 times more severe than that. So if the same number of people catch this as catch the flu, we're talking pretty massive devastation, particularly if it happens all at once. We just don't have all the beds for that to treat everybody at the same time. That said, the vast, vast, vast majority of us are going to be fine, so don't freak out either. If you need to go get something, go get something. You don't have to stash 10 years of the TP and stuff and hunker down thinking you're not going to get it, because that's not what this thing is. So just lay low for a while. Watch some movies. Spend some time with your kids. It'll pass. Relax, but take it seriously as well.
Good. We do not need an executive session tonight.
We do not.
Next motion is,
Move to adjourn.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.